Kia ora. We're going to have a look at page 67 and maybe we'll have a go at page 68 in this video as well. Let's get straight into it. So what we're doing is, given the following z values, find the probabilities. So what is a z value? Let's do a quick little reminder. So if we've got our standard normal distribution, which is capital Z, right? The mean is going to be 0 and the standard deviation is going to be 1. Right? A z value is a value that pops up here, right? Now it's normally a little z, and the idea is that the z value is useful for finding the probability of a random variable, in fact this random variable, taking a value between 0 and the little z. So here our little z is 2.1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the table that we get given in our NCA exam, right? Now what we're doing is we've got a z value of 2.1, and see how the picture over there, well, I'm going to make that obvious. See how the picture over there has the exact same picture of the same distribution, and it's between 0 and z. And what a z value does, or what this table does, is it finds out the probability of occurring between 0 and any z. So we've just got to learn how to use this table to be able to find z values. So the first one is 2.1. Okay, so let's have a look over here. So what we do is, on this little z, we go down to 2.1. Here it is here. So I'm going to just highlight this whole row, and this one's actually 2.10 because there's nothing after it. So we're sort of looking at 2.100, right? Because there's nothing after here. So we can go down to this column, the 0 column, which means that we're looking at 2.10, and then that finds us the probability 0.4821. So that's the answer, 0.4821. But I kind of want to just do a little bit more explaining about what we've actually just found. So what we've found in this instance is, on z, we have found the probability that a variable occurs between the number 0 and the number 2.1. Right? So this is our z value here, 2.1, and we've found out that this area is equal to 0.4821 of the whole standard normal distribution. So this is 48% of the area. So that's what we have found just here. If we want to write it out properly, it should actually be the probability that the random variable z is between 0 and 2.1. That would be the proper way to write it out. So it's the chance of falling between 0, so 0 less than that random variable that's going to take a value, and that's less than 2.1. So z is between these two numbers. See on the thing how it's the z that is between 0 and 2.1. That's what we're finding. Okay, let's do a little skip and we'll go to, we'll level up slowly actually. I'm going to move this across. We'll do number 2. So here it's 1.32. So we go to our table here and we go to 1.3. I'm just going to highlight that whole row again. And this time we're going to go 1.3 and we're going to go to the column 2. Right? So now the probability is 0.4066. 0.4066. So what it's doing is it's finding us probabilities that a value falls between 0 and z. So this time z was 1.32 and we found 1.32 was 0.4066. Okay? Now, we've done it with 1 decimal place. Now we've done it with 2 decimal places. Now we're going to do it with 3 decimal places. 3 decimal places, I've got to admit, is a little bit confusing. So probably this is the one to focus on the most. So what we're going to do is we're doing 0.741. So what that means is we're going to go down to the 0.7. All right, we're going to check the 4. So we're going to go row 0.7, and 4 is going to be the column that we do. But the thing is, what about this 1? Well, with this 1, we actually have to go over to the differences thing. So difference is going to be 1. Right? So we're going to go to row 7, 4 is the column, and we're going to have to go to the differences column. Okay, so let's do it. So row 0.7, nice, highlighted. And then we have column 4, so we go down here. So it's 0.2704. Right? So we found that using, well, this is getting a little bit messy to be quite honest. So it's going to be 0.2704, but we have to add on this difference from the 1 column of differences. So maybe I should write difference column. So difference column, we're going to go to 1. So let's have a look at 0.7 in the differences column of 1. So these numbers here are for any third decimal point, right? And the difference we need to add on is 3. Now, you'll notice that these differences, they're either 1 digit or 2 digits. Now, the differences get added on in the 3rd and 4th decimal places. I know it's pretty tough to memorize, but in this instance, we only have to add on, so to what we have, we're going to have to add on 0.00003. So when it's a single digit, it goes in the 4th decimal place. But let's say the difference was 4, and it would go down to 12. 12 would just fill in the 3rd and 4th decimal place. It's a little bit wacky, but it's the best way to be able to fit all of this information on one really small sort of A5 size table. So let's add those things together. So the probability, I'm just going to write that again, P of X is going to be 0.2707. So that's going to be the answer for this one here. Okay, I'm going to go somewhere where it's a little bit tidier. Let's have a look at, I'm just going to make one up. Oh, actually, this one's pretty good. Okay, we're going to go and do 3 point, I'm going to make up a new one. We're going to do question 7, and I just want to show you guys an illustration. So we're going to go 1 little z equals 1.589. Right, I'm intentionally choosing one that's going to be a little bit trickier. So the probability that it takes a value between 0 and that there, 1.589, is what we are going to calculate. So what we're going to go to is we're going to go 1.5. We'll color that in. And then we're looking in the 8th column, so down here. So it's 0.4429. 0.4429. And we need to add on a difference because we've got 9 in the 3rd decimal place. So let's look here, we've got 9 up here. So we're going to have to add on a difference of 11. Now, that's why I chose this one. When you're adding on anything that's got 2 digits, you just fill it in on the 3rd and 4th decimal place. So it's just adding on 11, like that, 0.0011. So that's going to be 0.4440. And that is how you do it. Try it yourself. So then what they're going to do is they're going to ask you to join together the ideas from prior pages with this new skill you have of being able to use Z values to find probabilities. So I will do that in the next video.